Hi, it's Josh from Champlain Valley Rail Snapshots, and this is my first vlog, I guess, and I want to talk to you about Rally for the Rails. I'm here trackside in Plattsburgh, New York at the Cliff Haven Park on the Delaware and Hudson Canadian Pacific Main Line. Actually, it's 651 northbound ethanol train just went by. You can check that out in another video. But today we're talking about the Rally for the Rails. And if anyone of you follows me, you know I'm a proponent of the Adirondack Scenic Railroad. I've covered extensively the Northern Division, the train between Lake Placid and Saranac Lake. And if any of you followed that, that's under attack by a trail advocate group. And they want to see the whole railroad. Actually, there's a group of them want to see everything from Utica to Lake Placid torn up. But they made a lot of noise, made a lot of grandiose promises, invented a number of figures to support their cause, and now the state's reopened the plan, and they came up with a proposal that would chop off the end 34 miles of track between Tupper Lake and Lake Placid, which is the part that the Northern Division operates on. Now, currently the railroad uses vintage passenger cars and locomotives to operate trains for tourist benefits along the corridor, and basically it's a living history experience. You can get on a train and get a glimpse of what travel was like back in the 1950s and how important this historic rail corridor was to the development of the region. And because of that historical significance, the whole thing is on the National and State Register of Historic Sites, and that included language, and that included tracks, ties, and everything. And unfortunately, during this whole process, the trail group has really just negated any historical significance at all. They're so obsessed with having this trail for their hobbies that they really don't care who or what gets damaged or lost in between. And something that really bothers me about the whole thing, and I think could set up horrifying precedent, is this whole riding roughshod over the historic register. Basically, the plan that they propose and the DOT and DEC is about to go along with is that if you put up a few historic signs, it will mitigate the loss of actually having a historic preserved object or site. In this case, a railroad that gets operated on by vintage equipment, and it provides a great attraction to tourists in the area, which is among the great other attractions in the Adirondack region. The new business Rail Explorers that had these rail bike cars that I've filmed in other videos. Together, that and the railroad have put almost 30,000 people on the corridor this year, which I don't think is a number to laugh at. Although the trail group promises millions, and they say that anyone living along the corridor will have so much money that they'll be able to swim around it like Scrooge McDuck, and that's all part of their squeaky wheel syndrome. They're trying to get the grease, and they're grease the trail. But what happens to a historic preservation when you can pick and choose what mitigates its loss? In their case, they're proposing putting up some signs. So what happens in a few years, they decided that the Trudeau Institute would be better served as a Starbucks. It would make more money as a Starbucks to support the people on the trail. Well, I guess you come in, you bulldoze it, you stick in the Starbucks, and you put up a sign. Now, I don't know what the usage statistics is on the John Brown farm, but I'm sure they could come up with some sort of better statistic if it was a parking lot. If they needed that parking lot to support the trail, then what happens? I guess you bulldoze it, you stick up a historic sign, and instead of getting to see the site where John Brown settled his family while he went off and fought the Abolitionist Crusade and later was interred with his sons, I guess you get a parking lot and a sign saying this is where this was all preserved up until they determined that it would be better served serving the trail. And let's take that a step farther. I mean, look at all the tourists that go in and out of Gettysburg. I bet Walmart wouldn't mind putting a super center right there on Cemetery Ridge. And you can bulldoze that out, cover it in asphalt, level it, and build a super center. Maybe put up some interpretive signs next to the cart returns. and that mitigates the loss of any historic value. I mean, who needs to see or experience and have a piece of living history at Gettysburg? You can have a sign. I think based on their comments, they're so obsessed with this trail and their hobbies, and that they really don't care who or what gets in between them. And I see time and time again a total lack for anything that's historically sensitive or culturally significant. But then to see the state being allowed to run roughshod with them, and elements of the state that are going along with this, is just, I don't know, I see it as setting a bad precedent, and I don't know if they really could see the kind of Pandora's box you might be opening up. The Trails Conservancy has so gotten out of hand with this, at least in New York, with this constant attacks on heritage and historical preservation railways. You have the Saratoga North Creek, the Adirondack Scenic, and the Catskill Mountain all under attack by active trail groups that have said this, that, and the other thing to try to get their way. And what happens when they start getting these railroads? There's a number of regional short-line railroads throughout the country that partly depend on operating on a publicly owned corridor. Not your major class ones, but you take like the NECR and the VRS in the region. I'm sure some of those must run on tracks that are partly owned by states and counties and towns and whatnot. What happens when across the board it's decided that they can just take tracks whenever they want from an active railroad, not just a historic preservation railroad? I don't see anything good coming from this on the historical side of things, and I see this group that's so obsessed that they have to add mileage and mileage and mileage, no matter the cost and no matter who gets in between. And what I'd like to implore everyone is that if you're in the Adirondack region or the greater Adirondack area or Plattsburgh or any of this nearby, support the Rally for the Rails. It's going to be Saturday, November 7th at the Saranac Lake Union Depot in Saranac Lake, New York, right off Route 3 by the Adirondack Carousel. We want to have as many people as possible to show the state and Governor Cuomo that this line means a lot to a lot of people, and it was put on the register for a reason, not just to be gotten rid of at the whim of a hobbyist group. And it provides a great attraction that adds to the unique character of the region, provides an alternative for people to get out either on foul weather days or for handicapped, disabled, elderly, family friendly. I think it's a great thing, and the volunteers and the people do a great service on the railroad. So I'd like to see everyone come out to support that. If you're not able to do that, write or email Governor Cuomo's office. Write the DEC, the DOT, the Adirondack Park, the APA, and just make some noise. The railroad, I think it needs the support of all the people that have enjoyed it for so many years, and all the people that are interested in the historical and culturally significant aspects of it. And I hope it's around for a number of years to come. I've been on it. My whole family's been on it. I brought my son on it multiple times. He loves the train. And it's the kind of thing that you just don't get everywhere else. The train up here is hours away from anything else. There's really no other attraction like it in the area. And then you add on that the rail explorers and the rail bikes. There's really nothing else like that in the country where people can come and do this. So you're at a point where I think we're at a critical junction, and I think we need to really get our point across to the state that the railroad's important. It needs to stay, and there's reasons it was put on the historic register, and there's reasons why people care about it, and not let it be run roughshod over at the whim of this trail fad. So get out there, either make some noise or write some emails and some letters. And if you don't follow me on YouTube, like and subscribe to Champlain Valley Rail Snapshots. You can also find us on Facebook, covering rail activity in the well, Clinton County, New York, Plattsburgh, Essex County, and into the Adirondack Scenic Railroad, which is something I personally really enjoy, with excursions over to Vermont and the NACR and the VRS. So, Champlain Valley Rail Snapshot signing off for now.